Hello, and welcome to the bridge where Rambo walked across during First Blood. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of all the cool locations and show you a lot of cool different stuff. They drew First Blood. Check it out. The original bridge is right here. This is what it used to look like. And this is from 1981 when they filmed it. Okay, we are at the official First Blood Rambo Headquarters. And here's the family. They are enjoying themselves.
Can you do this one?
There's the chevron from the movie.
And so merchandising can
That's
be
a Rambo
all
day.
day long as well, okay? So we'll be getting going here in about 10 minutes.
We're about to go into the museum.
Perfect weather, just like they filmed it the fall and winter of 1981.
And you got guns you can prop on. All right, here's the Rambo Museum. What's up?
Everything. Oh, is it nice?
Door of the truck in the junkyard. I know, just take a picture of them. There's the little, from the final scene, where Cecil went on the roof. Dashboard from the truck in the junkyard. There's the photo, jacket over there. What's up? Telephone. There's a knife replica. Rambo Bear. Highway license plates. Ooh, M60. Nice. M60. Nice artwork. Good artwork there. Here's the bad guy from part 2. Oh, whoa, nice. Ooh, Japanese Rambo. Rumble. Sylvester Stallone. All right. Giant Rambo poster here. Okay, you've gone as far as you can go. Here, why don't you get a picture of me here? Yeah, everyone got drunk at the Chalice. I didn't go.
1, 2, 3, and everybody's like, how about that? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Yay!
Not enough. And then one more. Jones, our executive director, she's here. Okay, she
Welcome
is.
to Whole Cascades and Canyons, everyone.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, ready? Rambo! Oh yeah. Okay.
We want you to hear you guys over at Rolly's.
I want to know playing from Rolly's restaurant. Okay, so hang on.
There you go.
Oh! Nothing is over.
Hold on. Can you?
Okay. And then we're gonna get going. I promise. So hang on. Just so everyone knows. So the line is nothing is over, and we're gonna go 3, 2, 1. Okay, ready? So are we rolling? This is for Stallone's Instagram page. Okay, here we go. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Nothing is over!
Oh yeah, baby.
Nothing is over!
Okay, one more and then we're leaving. One more and then we're leaving. Okay.
Welcome, everybody.
Watch us for the bus tour. Okay, here we go. Get ready. 3, 2, 1.
Nothing is over! The iconic skyline here behind us that shows the mountains. That's a lot of roads and trees and shrubs and bushes have grown in over the years, but that's the iconic view in the background. Okay, with the low clouds this morning, you can't quite make it out. But, oh yeah, you just don't turn it off. So this is the icon, the photo album going around. This particular shot of the conversation between John Rambo and Sheriff Teasel is in the photo album. So not really much has changed down Water Avenue, but that's our building. Oh yeah,
Give him a bandana. Give the dog a bandana.
Third place in the karaoke.
Exactly. Fourth or fifth. Honorable mention. In the shot in the movie, our building is actually in the background of the shot as well. So this is this location, and this is quite often where, when you're coming into town, if anybody's a fan of this movie, you always see about 10 or 12 people all congregating around here, standing right there, and getting their picture taken with Water Avenue in the background. So this is where that shot took place. Next location, we're going to be moving up to where they built the gas station set. Okay, and that's just going to be up here on the corner of Old Hope, Princeton Way, Water Avenue. And in the background, on the lawn, okay, you're going to notice the famous Gateway to Holiday Land sign, and I'll explain the Gateway to Holiday Land sign as soon as we get up there. Okay, obviously the iconic Gateway to Holiday Land sign, okay? The Hope Station House train station, CN station in the background. This building never used to be here. It was moved to this location in 1986. In 1981, it was on the corner of Hudson Bay Avenue and Fifth Avenue and Hudson Bay Street, okay? So you'll notice that the station house was in the back of the shot over by, during the car chase scene at the H tree where he popped the wheelie. You're going to notice that building in the background of the shot. The Gateway to Holiday Land sign used to be located just over here at the Highway 1 junction here on the corner of Flood Hope Road and Highway 1. This has all changed, obviously. The overpass here was put here as part of Highway 5 in 1986. So with the iconic walking into town, when they showed the little montage at the end of the movie last night of him walking into town, that took place just about a kilometer from here up on Flood Hope Road. And then the Gateway to Holiday Land sign was arched just about like a half a kilometer that way. So they moved it here and rested it on this piece of grass right here. The across the street from us, where their big pile of concrete was or is right now, that is where they built the gas station set. Okay, so it was in order to kind of set the scene as to how they shot that scene that night. It was about 10:30 at night. It was a Thursday night, and it was probably the most anticipated part of the movie in terms of everybody was looking forward, of course, to the gas station explosion. Everybody was anticipating. Everyone was just so excited. Pretty well the entire town of Hope, all lined basically where we're standing. This entire patch of grass was completely full of locals. To stand here and watch from what was about to happen, not even 100 feet across the road, this whole thing get blown up. Now it's kind of funny when it comes to movie making in this day and age. When they shoot a film in downtown Vancouver or whatever, they're shooting Deadpool or Deadpool 2 or whatever, they usually cordon off about 19 square blocks. You can't go anywhere near the set, you can't go anywhere near any of the actors, you can't go near any. Back in 1981, it was no holds barred. And we're going to get to that when we talk about what was going on 3rd and Wallace when we get down to the downtown area. But right here was absolutely no exception. The fact that they were going to blow up this phony prop literally 100 feet across the street, and the entire town was behind this little thin piece of rope to watch all this. No consideration of flying shrapnel, no consideration of flying debris, no consideration of flames or fuel or anything from this explosion.
More
no
realistic.
regard for that whatsoever. So that night they had the entire Old Hope Princeton Way stretch all blocked off, of course, for traffic. Ted Kochef, the director of the film, he was on a megaphone that night, and he was like, "Okay, Hope, British Columbia, Canada." More Rambo fans, I love it. They're coming into Hope by the busload. I love it. So Ted Kochef was on the megaphone, and he's like, "Good evening, Hope." And everyone's like, "Ooh," and he goes, "Does everybody know what to expect here tonight?" And everybody's like, "No!" And he's like, "That's good, because neither do we." There, you could tell that night that the entire crew was extremely nervous, okay, because they had one opportunity to get this right, and one opportunity only. The gas station set was a very small set. It was only about 40 feet in length by about 20 feet deep. All it was basically a shell of a building. What they did was, to make it look as authentic as possible, they put in like a little sort of a confection store there or whatever, and put some lights inside it. And just to make the shot complete, they actually went over. They sent a PA over to Gardner Chevrolet, the dealership over here. He walked in with a wad of cash, and he goes, "I need to buy every single knick-knack that you've got for sale in your showroom here." So he bought batteries, air fresheners, lighters, jacket, whatever, anything that Gardner Chevrolet sold, battery chargers, anything. And what they did, they bought about a couple of $1,000 worth of stuff just to fill this little office part of the gas station set. When you watch the film, you don't even see it, but they wanted to make the scene as real as possible. So that night, so Ted's getting everybody, all the crowd, everybody's all jacked up. They've got all the actors out. They got the stunt guys out here. They got the military truck all ready to go. And Ted says, "Okay, Hope, we are going to do a countdown. And in order to get this shot complete, and they only had one chance to do it, they filled the gas station with any little element that would light, anything that would light on fire. They filled it full of gasoline, TNT, jet fuel, everything, just to make this thing explode properly and look as good as possible on film." So he said, "Okay, we're going to do a countdown." And so Ted's up there and he goes, 10, 9, 8. He goes, it does the whole countdown. He goes, "Roll cameras, roll cameras, roll cameras." And everything's happening all at once. The military truck comes in, crashes over the pump. Stunt guy gets out. Stallone jumps in. Films Stallone jumping out of the truck. Films Stallone pulling down the tailgate. Grabs the gun, grabs the gas tank, puts everything, does the phony little light of the match. A pyro guy's just off to the side of Stallone, lights the little, so you see that flame blow up in Stallone's face. Stallone runs out of here, and Ted's just going, "Action, action!" He's getting everyone going, "Action, action!" In come the pyro guys. They light the gas tanks on fire, the big flame, and then all these other guys are running in, lighting the cars, everything. And everyone, Ted's just yelling, "Run! Run!" And everyone just runs from the set, and this thing just goes boom. And everyone's like, "Ooh," and it goes boom. And then it just goes boom! And the crowd just goes crazy down here. And it was so exciting. And the heat, just by where we were standing, the heat from the flame, there's stuff flying over top of everybody's heads, and pieces of set and everything just, but in 1981, like, what work safe? There was like nothing. There was just, you just showed up to watch this movie being shot. And then of course they brought in all the second unit stuff. The whole fire department was here to, the firefighters that are actually in the shot are all Hope Fire Department volunteers. And then of course they brought in the actors to do the, Lester was on the radio. It was funny because Alf Humphreys, who plays Lester, he's the guy that had his nose broken, his orbital bone broken. He's on the radio trying to get a hold of Sheriff Teasel, and it's funny because Alf told me there's a shot here where they had the cars simultaneously exploding while all of this is going on. Alf told me the story. He goes, "Brian," "the reaction when I'm on the radio talking to Brian Dennehy," he goes, "I didn't expect that car to go up behind me." So he said, "The reaction that you get on film is my natural reaction." He goes, "because it scared the hell out of me." So it's kind of funny. So just watch for that next time you watch the movie. So right across the street is where they filmed the gas station. So we're going to make our way down to 3rd Avenue and turn left. We're going across the tracks for the big motorcycle jump over the tracks, okay?
Yeah. Woo! Thank you. All right, now we're walking towards the place where he rode his motorcycle. All right. There's Machi and Nina Mia.
This is what the Sunday morning church service is. This is the Hope Grace Baptist Church right here. Everyone's just holding in for Sunday morning mass. Just what they want is some loudmouth on a megaphone. Okay. Obviously, very familiar track crossing right here. Okay, not a lot has changed. I love the fact that Mount Ogilvie pretty well looks the same as it did in the movie. That's Mount Ogilvie, the mountain in the background right behind us there. So this, of course, is the famous track jumping scene. The only thing that's really changed here, they've got some arms on the lights right now that disappear in the movie. But pretty well the line of sight traveling from the bottom of 3rd Avenue this way is where it's pretty well the same, with the exception of some extra trees that have grown in and things like that. But pretty well the same view through the lens right now as it was in the fall and winter of 1981. If you watch the movie, you're going to notice right here when the stunt car and the motorcycle cross the tracks, you're going to notice a little bit of extra height right here. That's because they built a little makeshift ramp right here. And some locals, there's some folks from home. They're used to Brian McKinney talking loudly on a megaphone. There we go. Yeah. I don't know if she's a Rambo fan, but it's got potential. I'm assuming she was waving at me, I'm not exactly sure. But anyways, you'll notice in the movie that they put a ramp right here to elevate the car and the motorcycle a little bit faster and a little bit higher. The story goes, Ted Kocheff was, I'm just directing traffic. Ted Kocheff was down here. They had the units, the stunt cars, everything down there pretty well at the intersection there of 3rd and Wallace down at the light. So this entire avenue was all cordoned off in anticipation of this stunt. Ted was overheard talking to the stunt director that he goes, how be we hit the ramp a little bit higher, a little bit faster, and a little bit harder? And he's like, okay, Ted, what would you like? And he goes, how be we try 70 miles an hour? So you can imagine being down there, 2 blocks down on the corner of 3rd and Wallace. Stunt guy, Benny Dobbins, is in the Impala, in the sheriff's car. And he's going to hit this ramp following the guy on the bike at 70 miles per hour. So they do a take. They shoot this scene. Benny went too high, too far, and hit the ramp too fast. And the first take, the car almost landed pretty well at the brake in the yellow paint down there. What happened was when the car hit the street, frame stood still, chassis blew right out from underneath it, and ended up on the right up where that car is turning left onto Old Hope Princeton Way. The dust all settled. There he is. The dust all, I think he was waving as well. The dust all settled. The car stood still, came to a screeching halt. The frame sat on the pavement. The driver did not move. The door opens up. Benny kind of falls over sideways, broke his lower back. So obviously the next take, they brought in another car, did the performance on a second take with the same rider on the bike, hit the ramp, hit the approach, obviously considerably slower, but the end result, the one that you see on film, is actually a second take. Different car, different stunt driver, but that location was right here on 3rd Avenue. So this is the famous track jump scene, okay? So yeah, you can, and again, you can take some pictures kind of in amongst traffic or whatever, but again, if you want to come back a little bit later and get some really cool shots, it's always kind of fun to get out on the track, kind of looking down this way, pointing this way, so you can get Mount Ogilvie in the background, and there he is. Glenn does all my landscaping, by the way. So yeah, so this is the track jump on 3rd Avenue. The next stop is going to be the 8th Tree, okay, the famous 8th Tree, and then we're going to make our way down to 3rd and Wallace, where the sheriff's station was built and the gun shop was built. So we were just talking about the fact when Kirk Douglas was originally casted to be Sheriff Teasel. Kirk Douglas was actually in Hope, and it lasted about a day and a half. And obviously it's very well documented. Kirk Douglas, Ted Kocheff, the director, and Stallone could not come to any terms with regards to how the end of the movie was going to happen. Stallone was of the idea that the character was going to live, that the character was going to live. Director co-chef Kirk Douglas said, you know what, Sly, no, we don't see it that way at all. So right away there was friction to kick off the filming. They got together over on Commission Street in Stallone's makeshift trailer, sat there. The script was on the table of this little trailer table or whatever. And Kirk said, well, he goes, so I guess he was in town. They filmed for about a half a day. And finally Kirk Douglas said, you know what, Ted, I can't do this. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the direction that the movie is going, and I sure as hell don't agree with the way the movie is going to end. He goes, I'm out of here. Got in a waiting car. Driver was waiting. Kirk Douglas, out of hope. Production came to a complete standstill. Why? They had no Troutman. So Richard Crenna at the time gets a phone call down in LA from his agent that says, we need you up in Hope, Canada. And he's like, where? Hope, Canada. And he goes, and this is the part you're going to play. And he's going, Hope, Canada, to play a what? In who? And so anyway, so long story short, Richard's on a plane, heading to Vancouver, car waiting, he's out in Hope, has absolutely no clue what he's doing or the role that he's getting into. And as a matter of fact, to start filming a lot of Richard's lines, he actually had a script coach standing right to his left-hand side and basically just read the script to him, and he just kind of ad-libbed the rest. So a lot of the stuff that you actually see Crenna doing is just kind of a guy off to his left just reading the script, and then Richard just kind of left to kind of wing it. So it's kind of a fun little fact. And the fact that they had no opportunity to fit Richard into a proper colonel uniform, that is why the outfit, I didn't know this until after, but when you watch the film, it's kind of funny now. The actual outfit is actually too small for him because it was originally fitted for Kirk Douglas. It's kind of a fun little, so remember that next time you're watching it. I think they're a little tight on him. So obviously this is the H tree, famous H tree. Stunt car comes wide around here. You know what's funny, when you watch these folks, I'm out here doing it on a regular basis. I wonder what these people think. But kind of fun to watch when you watch the movie again. And I don't know if the stunt driver had actually meant to do this on purpose, but watch how close he actually comes to the corner of the house. I thought it's brilliant. Okay, so the car comes wide, and Stallone's stunt rider comes this way and pops the wheelie right here. So this is the famous H tree. Okay. So what we're going to be doing is going to go back up this way. We're turning right on 3rd. Okay, we're going to head down to Wallace. Okay, obviously where a lot of the action takes place. And then after we do 3rd and Wallace, we'll do this. I'll show you where steals the bikes, all that kind of stuff. And then after that, we're going to be heading back to the visitor center, getting in our cars, and heading out to the world famous spectacular Othello Tunnel. Okay, so we'll head back that way.
Cool beans. Thank you.
So, very iconic part of the movie takes place right here in this location. The little collage of the trip down memory lane at the end of the Last Blood last night, where they show John Rambo coming out from along the wall behind the alley, is right there, right where he's standing. They're perfect, yeah. So he makes his way right along that wall. And in the background there is a Raleigh Light tobacco billboard right on that wall right there. But this is the iconic scene where John Rambo comes like this. And we've got like award-winning lighting provided by Andrew Laszlo. So all the lighting was absolutely brilliant in this film. It was a combination of natural lighting and Andrew Laszlo just being as brilliant as he was. It just to create like the shadow movements and everything of the movie, he was just brilliant, including the mine shaft. Absolutely no lighting, no nothing. He said to Stallone, he goes, okay, here, Sly, somebody give Sly a match. And all he did was light a match, and Andrew's like, we've got our lighting. This is perfect. And the way it shows up on screen is just brilliant. So anyway, so that iconic shot is right here. So John Rambo comes around here and points what direction? Towards Mountain State Savings, okay? Which is actually the Shea Fusion, and that's in the photo album that's going around, or the shot of Mountain State Savings, okay? So that shot is, it's changed a little bit. They put another set of doors on there, but the Shea Fusion and the health food store used to be a Bank of Montreal there, actually. And it's a funny story because they shot in the middle of the night. I'll come over here. I'm not in everybody's view. So they shot in the middle of the night, about 1 o'clock in the morning. And Bob Melnick, who was the branch manager at the time, it was a work night, so it's a weeknight and weekday night. And so Bob was over here. He's the branch manager. He's panicking because these guys have come in and they're going to film this one scene. They're going to film this one scene where, we'll back up just a little bit, guys. They're going to film this scene where they're going to blow his windows out. And he said, okay, well, on one condition, he goes, we're opening the next morning. He goes, so whatever you're going to do, he said, we need to get this shot done. He says, because we're back in business tomorrow morning. So they do this one take. We've got Stallone over here firing blanks, M60 machine gun. And they have the detonators all set, all the explosions and everything are all taped to the windows, everything's set to go for this big bank window blowout scene. Nothing worked, nothing went off properly, the wiring wasn't connected properly, it was a complete malfunction. One kind of went off, one didn't go off, one window broke, one didn't do what it was supposed to do. It was a complete wreck of a shot. Here's our local RCMP, these guys are good guys. Okay, there we go. So anyways, it was a complete failure of a shot. It's about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Bob's got to open this bank in another 4 hours, 4.5, 5 hours. It's in the middle of December, well, early part of December. You don't just pick up, you don't get on the phone to Apple Auto Glass and say, okay, we need some windows replaced and we're trying to get this movie done. We got 6 hours to do this shot done. They lobbied like crazy to get the windows reinstalled into Mountain State Savings. They do a second take on the shot. What you see, the windows go off, Stallone firing over here, firing blanks, and what you see was all replaced windows, new pyrotechnics on the windows, everything went off, the shot was effective, everybody was happy with it. What we're going to do is make our way across the crosswalk, okay, and on this little square over here, and this is where the sheriff's office was built, and of course the outpost gun shop over here on Commission, okay? Okay, so pretty historic part of Hope. This is 3rd and Wallace. What I like about this particular spot is that geographically, nothing really changed in terms of the line of sight here at this spot. Everything that you see here on 3rd and Wallace, in terms of, there's the famous Midtown Shopping Plaza sign. I hope the guy that owns the Midtown Plaza never gets rid of that sign. That sign is in the movie several times. It's in a number of different shots, the Midtown Shopping Plaza sign. All of these lampposts that you see right here are all original and in the exact same location as they were for the movie. So all of these green lampposts all appear in the movie. The traffic
when you
light,
see a good picture, take it.
the same today as it was in the
When you
fall
see
winter
a good
of
picture, take it.
1981.
That's what I'm saying. Like you
This
said,
was the
listen to him
sheriff's
and then you...
station set, okay? Lots has changed in this little part, obviously. Everything's all been re-landscaped. We've got the beautiful carving of one of Pete Ryan's carvings of the District of Hope. Very popular area for when we get a lot of our bus tours arrive over here at the bus parking area. And at any given time, there's probably 400 or 500 or 600 people all gathered around here. This was the sheriff's station set. It was a working set, one level. The idea here was to build it big enough so that it would actually cover what was then District Hall. District Hall is the building behind us. This is our municipal building. But they wanted to build the building big enough so that it wouldn't appear on camera. So there is funny because in a couple of shots you actually do see portions of District Hall in the background. But to make up for that, they put some phony pine trees and some Douglas firs and all that kind of stuff. They put a U.S. Army billboard right there that covered all this area right here behind us. They put a Marlboro Light cigar billboard on both angles, covering Penny and Rudy's White House over there. Because over there was where, across Commission, we're going to be going over there shortly, is where they built the gun shop. Okay. So they wanted it big enough, so it was a working set, one level. The basement part, the breakout scene was actually wasn't shot here, it was actually shot in a working jail cell down in New West. I believe it is now, has been removed, been demolished. But a funny note that somebody told me one time was, if you look in the background during the breakout scene and the big scuffle that's happening, and Rambo's getting ready to break out, the guys that are behind bars, I've been told, are apparently real prisoners. And they did not appreciate the shooting going on in there. As a matter of fact, that is why kind of in the background you see these blurred images of guys behind bars. Those are actually guys that were in custody. And to the guy that he says, when Galt's bringing John Rambo down into custody, Leroy, the guy that's doing the renovations, the guy that's doing the painting in there, and Jack Starrett says, it's going to take old Leroy not 10 months to paint this hall. Leroy was the actual contractor that was doing painting. So they just left it. Ted said, this is brilliant, let's just leave this.
Who was the sheriff that Stallone beat?
Brian Dennehy.
No,
yes.
But there was another one that came in and really whacked him.
Oh, yeah, Jack Starrett, that's Galt. Yeah.
He was good.
And so that whole breakout scene, yeah, it didn't take place here. A lot of people think that it took place here and hope that it didn't. So very, very busy spot. They, a lot of the stuff that you'll see in the background, like the Hope Mountain Cafe at the time was called the Kettle Valley Restaurant. The theme in the movie, it was supposed to be Christmas, so a lot of the stuff that you see is all Christmas decoration. They had phony trees and everything up on the side of the Kettle Valley Restaurant. They had their local radio station, CKGO, actually had a window decorating contest to go on because the producers were actually looking for all the businesses to get involved and decorate their storefronts and everything to look like Christmas. So our local radio station got on board and sponsored a window decorating contest. The Windsor Motel, very historic. The Windsor Motel shows up in several of the shots during the big shootout in the last 15 or 20 minutes of the movie. It's hilarious because a lot of fans, I don't think it's hilarious, I think it's wonderful and brilliant that when fans come into Hope, they want to stay at the Windsor Motel because it shows up on a lot of the screenshots as to where their favorite movie was shot. As a matter of fact, when you book your room and you go into the reservation desk, they've got a big, huge screenshot of Sly pulling the guy off the bike. Okay, so I'm going to move, but I don't want anyone else to move. All I want you to do is just do a 180 and look at me over this way.
Oh, yeah.
Locals are used to that. So, in this very location right here is where he tears the guy off the motorbike right here. Okay, so this is a very iconic spot. Okay, this is where he comes running out. And you have to remember that this tree right here was not here when they did the filming. Staircase was about right here, lined up in this area. So Stallone, as a character, comes running out, running down the steps. And the brilliant part of this next shot was that Sylvester Stallone hated the idea of jumping over the hood of the police car right here. He did not want to do it. But Ted said it'll look a lot more effective in the shot. So when John Rambo comes running down the steps and he kind of looked, there's a bunch of locals here in the shot right here. He jumps over the hood of the sheriff's car and pulls the guy off the bike right in this location right here. And the fun part about this is that when they were doing a lot of whenever they were doing filming downtown, a lot of the schools would actually let the kids out and come downtown on a field trip and actually watch a lot of the filming that were going on the set down here during the middle of the day. And it's kind of neat because when they did that shot, there's about 100 of us school kids literally behind a very thin piece of rope right here. And again, back when I was talking about when they film movies now, usually you can't get within about 2 or 3 or 4 kilometers of the set. We were literally 20 or 25 feet. So there's, yeah, very good. Welcome to Hope. I'm not crossing. Welcome. Very good. Good. So there's about 100 of us school kids all behind this tiny little piece of rope watching Stallone pull this stunt guy off the bike. And it was kind of funny because a lot of people don't realize it, but Sylvester Stallone couldn't ride a bike if his life depended on it. There were so many times that he'd be on there and he'd throttle it, or he was just unstable on the bike. There was one particular time when he actually lost control of the bike. Welcome to Hope. Careful. Oh, you guys at MPA right on Wallace Street? Be like we're filming a movie. There was one time when the bike actually took off, went into the crowd, and it actually clipped a lady in the crowd or whatever. And again, it was remarkable to me that, again, talk about liability, and there'd be this many people and they'd be filming right here. Like, it was literally 20 feet away from the shot. It was just totally bizarre. It would never happen in this day and age.
Good old times.
Oh, good, exactly, right? So, bike goes off into the crowd, clips a lady. Stallone goes running. He goes running over to his controller, are you okay? Are you okay? There's, everyone's panicking because this lady's been hurt. Out of nowhere, this PA comes running out of nowhere, big wad of cash in his hand, comes over, they're dealing with this situation, and the director would never do this, but just one of the production assistants comes over and he goes, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? And she's like, oh, it's my leg, I can't put any weight on it, The guy's like, how do you feel now? And she's like, well, hang on. So these guys are helping her up, and she's like, got to put some weight on it. She goes, well, just walk it off here a little bit. She's kind of limping. That's just the way they dealt with it. She goes, it's a miracle I can walk. I mean, that's just the way they dealt with production in town. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing over here in the parking lot. This used to be. This is our Harvest Church center over here, just this abandoned, this building over here on the right with the light. That's actually an old grocery store. It used to be called Overweighty Food. And the manager at the time kept whining and moaning and complaining because that's where they parked a lot of the production trucks and everything. And he goes, we're open for business. I have no customer parking. Business is down however many percent or whatever. They sent a production assistant over there. How's business? He goes, he said, we're struggling a little bit, but we're glad you guys are in Hope. How's business down? He goes, he says, I think we're doing pretty good. I think we'll break even. Welcome to Hope. You guys continue on building. I mean, that's just the way they did it, right? So, okay, so we're going to make our way over here to Commission Street. We're gonna go around the block. We're gonna show you where the Field store is, the iconic Field store, okay? And then we're going to be coming down and showing you this portion of Wallace Street, and that's where you field the motorbike and drive down Wallace, this little section of Wallace Street. Go ahead this direction, over to Commission, okay, and I'll show you where the gun shop was. Okay, so this is a pretty fun scene. Okay, so right here, this is where the Outpost gun shop was built. Again, they had the tobacco billboards all covering Penny and Rudy's house right here. And funny story about the old this building right here used to be owned and operated by an old Good morning. Welcome to Hope. So it used to be owned and operated by an old Polish shoe repair gentleman in this building right here. That there was a tremendous language barrier, okay? So the producers come up to this older fella and go, we want to build a movie set. We're from Hollywood. We want to build a movie set, and it's a gun shop, what we want to do is we're going to want to blow it up. Well, this guy is like, and I can't do an accent, but this guy is like, there's a huge language. He goes, "You are not going to blow up my building." And he goes, "We don't want to blow up the building. All we want to do is connect a movie set, is make-believe movie set, and we want to fasten it to the building, and we're going to put in some pyrotechnics, and we're going to blow a portion of it up. You are not going to blow up my business." It went on and on and on. They arbitrated with this old Polish guy, great guy, who was at Hope for years. And anyway, they came to a deal. They settled with this old fella. So what you see in the movie here is you actually see a portion of this building. It wasn't purple back then, obviously, but there's actually a portion where they've done the Hollywood magic. They've attached it to the building. The explosion here at the Outpost gun shop was extremely technical. And it's kind of funny because I often, when I look at it now, I think to myself, I wonder if that's actually how and why the explosion went the way it went, and they just basically blew the doors out, and there wasn't any sort of expansion of the explosion. It was just it's almost like as if they were trying to be extremely careful that they didn't bug up the old guy's shoe repair business. But so this is where the set was built. One-dimensional set. There was absolutely nothing to this set at all. As a matter of fact, behind it, when you look at some behind-the-scenes photos of the Outpost gun shop, there's actually 2x4s that are actually holding it up. That's how phony the set actually was. And the only thing realistic about it was the fact that they included a little retail room where obviously Stallone breaks into, pulls everything off the shelf, and I can remember, as a matter of fact, because this was the first location that as a young guy, that I ever had the opportunity to meet Sylvester Stallone, because there was a buddy of mine doing on-set security, and he had said to me, he said, "Brian," he says, "do you want to meet Sylvester Stallone?" And I said, "Well, yes, yeah, of course, little kid." And he goes, "Okay, well, I'll talk to someone who can talk to someone who can talk to someone." So we kind of come over, and I got an opportunity to kind of get a little bit close to him. I met Sylvester Stallone. And he pulls a shell off his belt and he goes, "Here." And he gave me a shell off his belt. So there you go. There's my that was my brush with fame, meeting Sylvester Stallone. So happy local. There we go. Perfect. Okay, good. Now, thank you. Yeah, awesome. So Outpost gun shop. The room itself that they shot this in, we were watching through the front windows here, the front doors of when when Stallone shoots at the pile of ammunition and everything that he pulled off the shelf. It's the funny thing, he fires his M60 blank round, firing it and they had a little pyrotechnic guy just off to the side. He's kneeled down like this. He lights the ignition switch on it, and this little pile of phony ammunition goes poof. And then, of course, Stallone goes running out the back of this phony set. We were watching through the windows a couple of times, actually, of Stallone firing his automatic weapon. And the size of this room, and this is the brilliance of this film, and you're especially going to see that when we head out to the tunnel, everything was all shot with what was called an optic lens. So everything that they shot and appears on film is a lot smaller in real life than the final product. The room that they shot in was actually about the size of a closet. That was about it. It was very, 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 very small. And you're also going to see that when we head out to the tunnels and we look at the cliff. The cliff is cool. The cliff is spectacular, but it is definitely not as high as it appears on film. So it's kind of a little piece of cool Hollywood. Welcome to Hope. So yeah, just a very cool little piece of Hollywood magic, and again, the brilliance of Andrew Laszlo, an award-winning cinematographer. Okay, so we're going to go here, we're going to turn right, go across the crosswalk, and we'll show you the portion where Stallone rides down the sidewalk, and it will show you the field store, and we're back to the business center. We're out to the tunnel. This cityscape right here, sort of geographically, if you will, has kind of changed a little bit in the last couple of years. Unfortunately, we had a fire here on the corner of Fraser and Wallace. So the iconic brick wall and everything that appears in the movie unfortunately has been removed and demolished, but one thing still remains, and that this is right here, no problem, don't move, is that this light pole is the exact same light post. There it is, right there, that appears in the movie. So he's coming down here, riding it like about literally 10 kilometers an hour. He wasn't riding very fast at all. Okay, and everybody's diving out of the way and coming out of the shops and all this, looking down here and all this. That line of sight, that shot is right here on this little half block of Wallace Street. But this, oh BC, please don't get rid of this lamppost. Okay, this is one of the most famous lampposts in Hollywood movie making history, even more famous than anything at Universal Studios, right there. But that lamppost appears in the shot, a few different, well, on the when they're doing this camera angle looking down this way. So, but anyways, coming down Wallace Street, he's on the motorbike, he just pulled the guy off the bike, and this is the iconic section of sidewalk that everybody's diving out of the way. That's where this shot took place. Cool, it's kind of neat, everyone's always out here getting pictures beside the lamppost. Does he look like Waylon Jennings? No. Does he not look like Waylon Jennings?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I thought it was just, yeah.
Sing us a
Waylon
song.
Jennings, I've got all your, you know what? I've got all your CDs. Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, 8 tracks. Yeah. Okay, so iconic, I'll tell you right now, if the Field franchise ever get rid of this marquee, I am going to start an online digital riot. This is the Field sign that appears in the movie, okay? I think this is also in the photo album as well, the Field shot. But Stallone, there used to be a building right here where the new parking lot is. He comes around the back of that little building. Again, brilliant cinematography here. Andrew Laszlo with the cool shadow in the background. Gives me goosebumps. You gotta watch this movie again tonight because you gotta watch all these cool little pieces of cinematography. It's unbelievable. But there's a building right there. Stallone comes around like this, comes around the corner. Where this black lamppost is, used to be a hydro pole, and on the top of the hydro pole they put a phony transformer, okay? So that Stallone blows out the phony transformer, and they have the Fields marquee in the background. So that's where this shot took place. Also, a very iconic scene takes place right here on the corner of Fraser and Wallace.
The reserves are here.
I love it. On cue. On cue,
Rambo.
Mark Madrigal, you just can't write this stuff. I love it. Beautiful. Am I the only one that has goosebumps this morning? Okay. So, very iconic part of the chase, where just after Stallone had stolen the motorbike, makes a left turn, and you see the sheriff's car turning left and skidding out sideways. That's the turn right here from Wallace onto Fraser Avenue. And that motel right there is called the Continental Motel, and that is the motel that Stallone stunt rider goes behind and through the alley and continues onto the Chevron gas station, which is on the other side of the motel right there. Chevron gas station, of course, being right across the street from the visitor center. So we're going to make our way over to the visitor center now, and then get in our vehicles and such. So we will make a rendezvous time out at the Coquihalla Canyon Provincial Park. Now, if this location here does not give you goosebumps, nothing about this entire movie or the entire franchise ever will. There's the cliff. So, as you can imagine, yeah, come on in, come on over, gang. We'll wait for everybody to come out of the tunnel here. And then what we'll do once we finish this sort of this portion of it, we'll make our way through the second tunnel, and I'll show you something else that happens at the other side of the tunnel there. But it's important to know that I was telling some folks earlier, prior to 1986, yeah, come on, don't worry, we're not going to start without our Rambos. We need our Rambos here. I mean, come on out. Can you guys hear me okay at the back? You can hear me? Yeah? Okay, good. Miss Rambo, there she is right there. Yeah. Yeah, there's a photo album right there if anyone hasn't seen the photo album yet. So, prior to 1986, when the Coquihalla Canyon became a provincial park, this was just an abandoned, decommissioned set of railway tunnels that were once a part of the Kettle Valley Railway. You could come out here, the public could come out here, a bunch of the locals came out here, partied, drank beer, made a campfire. This was all just a pile of rubble, rocks everywhere, things falling off the cliff, all that kind of stuff. The road coming out here was just a gravel road with big boulders on it, graffiti, spray painted everywhere, all that kind of stuff. So when the location scout, and by the way, no air restriction, okay, so, and I'll get to that shortly, but when the location scouts were in town looking for, they said to Fred Fandrich, who has Valley helicopters and still has Valley helicopters out there today, they came to Fred, they needed to rent a helicopter because they need some aerial shots of Hope. By the way, while we're up in the air, we're looking for somewhere with a cliff, a river, gorge, canyon, something that would fit this shot. We've got the character who's going to be hanging from a cliff. He does a jump, falls through some trees, and then we're going to have a character fall from a helicopter. And Fred's kind of looking at these location guys and goes, well, you need to go see the Othello tunnels. And the guy's like, okay, take us there. So back then, there was absolutely no air restrictions out here. Now with Provincial, now that there's governance and restrictions in place with regard to aircraft flying over provincial parks, obviously within a certain distance and all that. But back then, Fred Fandrich loads these 3 location guys in a Bell Ranger helicopter and land right here.
Whoa.
Literally, like right where we're standing. These guys get out, and you can imagine, now all this rock work, masonry work, all this rock work here behind, none of that was here, okay? So Fred lands this helicopter right here. These guys get out, they look around, they look up, they look down at the river and said, this is the shot, this is it, this is where we are. So the rest is history, and it kind of goes without saying that if it wasn't for Fred's trip out to the Othello tunnels, who knows? Would they've ever filmed in Hope, BC? I'm not really sure whether this was the official seal sealer or what it was, but so very, very technical part of the shoot out here. They were out here for a lot longer than expected. They only wanted to be out here for a couple of days. They ended up being out here for about 10 days in total. They were dealing with not only changing weather conditions, snow, but very, very, very high and very severe winds coming down through the canyon right here, which played absolute havoc with the stunt pilots and the helicopter. So everything very technical out here. Buddy Joe Hooker, one of the most famous stunt guys in Hollywood history, he was the guy contracted to do the jump from the cliff, which is about 3/4 the way up and on that ledge right there. Airbag was set up down in this area here. Originally, he was contracted for $30,000 to do the jump onto an airbag. But that was, of course, before the airbag accidentally deflated before the cameras rolled. His $30,000 contract was now an asking amount of $60,000. They said, okay, well, we'll pay you whatever we need to pay you, but we need to get the shot. So that was the fall from the cliff. Airbag was set up down here, right where we're standing. The tree shot was very, very technical because it required 3 different stuntmen. You can imagine. I mean, sorry, I wasn't out here, just a young kid, but they were very picky and choosy and very restricted as to public and being allowed to come out here during all this shooting. But you can imagine with all this equipment in this little tight confined area, how they were able to kind of pull all this stuff off. But again, like I was talking about downtown, they were up on that ridge line over here, and how they made this area look as grander and as over the top and as huge and as like everything on film. The fact that they shot it through that lens, yeah, that's a big cliff, but it's nowhere the size as it shows up on my 70-inch Samsung TV. So the fact that they shot it like that and made it look as cool as it did is just amazing. But with the tree sequence, what they actually did was had a lift out here where they had a stuntman, like one of those kind of those lifts that they would hire maybe to paint the side of a wall or a building or something like that. They had the stuntman be lifted up on a ledge 40, 50 feet in the air. They had a phony tree that they were hanging by another machine, and they actually had the stuntman jump off and fall down like about maybe a 20-foot section of phony tree where they had an airbag at the bottom of the tree. They filmed one sequence, wrap it, okay, cut. Bring in another stuntman, film another sequence. He jumps off the lift through the phony tree branches onto the bottom, onto the airbag or the cushions on the bottom of the base. Cut. Same thing. Bring another third guy up there. They're wearing the sack or whatever, and underneath the sack they've got pillowcases and everything for protection for falling through all these phony branches. And it wasn't, so Stallone obviously wanted to make the scene as realistic as possible. So that's what, of course, when he wanted to do the final segment of him falling down, get a shot of those Rambos. Those are awesome. Hang on, are they Rambos or are they, you guys are freaking me out with the bandanas over the face. Okay.
Wolverine.
So Stallone, of course, wanted to do the final segment of the final part where he falls onto the bottom branch and falls to the ground. And that's one of the most talked about shots because, of course, as we all know, when he falls on that phony branch, that's where he breaks two of his bottom ribs. And so when he hits the ground in that shot, that's about as realistic as pain as you're going to get. So that whole sequence all happened in here. And when they did when Galt gets lowered down and they're doing the shootout with the helicopter, that section all occurred right in here. They burrowed a hole, brought in a phony tree and put the base of the tree in the ground right here and had Stallone up against the phony base of the tree. Brought the helicopter in here. Galt's stunt guy is doing the firing at him. He does the rock throwing right from this area. Helicopter gets hit with the rock up here, and they do the fall from the helicopter on another airbag at the end, right through this tunnel here. So the fall from the helicopter actually took place through tunnel number 2. So there's a part, remember the part in the movie where Sheriff Teasel, all his deputies and everything are all above the ridge line. John Rambo comes out on the gravel bar and says, "What am I for?" Not bad. That's brought to you by the Silver Chalice last night, actually. A couple of beers, but we're good. There's one man dead. Not my fault. Okay, so that all took place on the gravel bar, which is a little bit exposed, but the water needs to come down here a little bit. Surprised actually that, mind you, in a couple of weeks that gravel bar will actually be exposed because they shot out here in about the mid-November. So by about mid-November, that gravel bar down there will be completely exposed. Galt's body. There seems to be online debate as to where Galt's body was actually laying. A lot of people seem to think it's that big rock right there laying down on the along the shoreline there. I was never really able to come out here and map that out. I mean, it's fair to say that the water here in the summertime, the water level up here is quite high. I have a theory that says that rock was probably washed away, but a lot of people want to believe that the actual rock that Galt laid on it, or the big one with the flat surface on it right down there. There's a really cool, and again, this all stems back to Andrew Laszlo's amazing cinematography. There's a scene there where they show Art Galt Jack Starrett's character. He's on the side of the helicopter and it's doing this, and he's firing his blanks. They to get that shot, it's really cool because they built a little ridge right here, and actually they brought the helicopter down and placed it on a bag of tennis balls. And what they did was they placed the helicopter on a bag of tennis balls right here, got the pilot to fire up the blade, get the machine going, and they had Jack Starrett actually sit out on the ledge of the helicopter with the helicopter going, and they had the pilot simply maneuver the helicopter on a big, huge bag of tennis balls. And the shot that you see of Jack on the side of the helicopter, that is Andrew Laszlo and his film crew. They're literally laying on the ground right here with a camera looking up at Jack Starrett about 4 feet off the ground while this helicopter is doing this on a bag of tennis balls. It's amazing. The end result is just gives you goosebumps. So that's where this whole segment all takes place out here. Through the tunnel, when you get through the tunnel here, on the bridge through the second tunnel, if you look up, that is where they filmed the fall from the helicopter. So they had an airbag sitting down in the area just at the base of the bridge there in the river. It was all up on kind of like stilts or whatever on metal framing and stuff. And so the fall from the helicopter takes place through the second tunnel right there. There's lots of information out here on all the display panels and such. I'm around here for a little bit longer, but I'm going to let it, because this place is so beautiful, so I'm going to let everybody just sort of take their time out here, look around. I don't encourage anyone to walk down here. We're actually not supposed to walk down here. I encourage you not to walk down there, but we're Rambo fans. We have a tendency to kind of do those types of things, but we can't take responsibility for that. But anyways, just be careful in everything that you do out here, because of course the rocks are very slippery out here right now. So, but yeah, carry on your day. Welcome to Hope. We're glad you're here. This is awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you very much, guys.
What's up? That's where Galt fell. What's up?
Whatever. The camera guys are all set up down here, like down on that gravel bar down there, just to get that shot of the vantage point of Stallone looking back at them. Yeah. And then a lot of the other stuff, like remember when Stallone starts scurrying, they show the clip and they show Stallone walking across the ridgeline up there. The whole film crew was all set up on that ridgeline right there. Yeah, so that, remember there's the part where Stallone is just coming down? Oh,
Super, yes.
Thank you. You don't have
Time to eat the Rambo burger.
Scanned it there and gave it back to me.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's like,